All right, welcome back to another trading week. The name is Sir Hans Felix. You guys know the vibes. Today is Sunday, the 21st of June. All right, so this is post FOMC week, and we were right in the middle of the conversation talking about um, the behavior of the market on FOMC. Now, let's be honest, we've talked about this often, and the anticipation is always this for me when it comes to FOMC. The market tends to, right at 2 p.m., it usually go back to retest like the morning hours. Like let's say the market was selling by 9:30. We see this pullback here on Nas. And then by 2, usually the market just goes right back into retesting the 9:30 open, the morning hours and stuff. But I don't see Nas giving a clean behavior here. What is this? 2:30? At 2:30. Okay. 2 p.m. Market sold off. The market sold off for Nas. I can't even co-sign this. For US 30, usually, uh, for as long as I've traded FOMC from time to time when the price action is clean, by 2 p.m., price usually tends to go against the early hours price action just to return back to these areas of interest. But as we can see, there was a harsh reaction, and then by 2:30, we came to retest this high. And then for the rest of the session, we noticed that they did continue selling off. Now, we were doing a live session last week. We did not trade it, but we wanted to see the behavior. But as the session started to get closer and closer to the end of the New York, uh, the New York hours, we saw that price did sell off to that gap on Sunday market open. In Asia, we did continue back up. We retested this order block, and then the next day, we pretty much just swept above this high, and then turned into a wick, reversed back down. And honestly, this would be the retest that I would have gotten in. I did not trade US 30. I was trading gold. But for the most part, this is why I say it's a lot better to just trade the next day instead, because price usually just comes back to retest the previous day price action anyway, which makes it a bit more clear. Okay. Now, some people might be wondering, why is it that the market sold when interest rates came out even? I remember in 2024, every time interest rates stayed the same, the market just continued the bullish trend. But uh, with the outcomes of the news that came out with FOMC, I think the market itself, institutions were kind of looking forward to see if the new Fed chair would decrease interest rates. But no, he was mentioning things like, hey, I think we got to keep things the same way it is. In fact, the economy is thriving. And because of that, we don't have to rush into like lowering interest rates. As a matter of fact, they might even increase interest rates because inflation is doing well, all of that good stuff. So I was like, okay, investors not gonna like that one. So the market did sell, and it filled the gap. Friday, because it was Juneteenth, we didn't get to see much action for real. We got to see the market pump up towards London and immediately rejected off of that zone. A lot of us are still getting used to Juneteenth holiday being an official holiday, but by around I believe 12:30, the market did freeze, didn't it? It did. Happy Sunday, Quells. Okay, so um going into this new week though, we heard about all this situation with the Strait of Hormuz still happening. Each time we really do think there's like an end to this, Iran be like, nah, actually we changed our mind, or some fiasco is going on, which leads me to believe we might still see we might still see some bearishness from gold. Now, we are getting closer and closer to a 4 hour demand. And the second leg from the beginning of the week of June, if they are really ready to start pumping this, we have to pay attention to this area of interest. All right, we have to pay attention to this area of interest. We might even see price just sweep this low and start pumping up. I'm not sure if this is the beginning of the pump, but this is Friday's lows. And if we break above this high and we retrace, then we will definitely have to consider this being the low, um, where it's at right now. So I would low key need London session to confirm what's really going on. We need to see a break of structure to confirm that the market is retesting these lows and ready to go to the upside. If not, if we're just sweeping the upside and selling back down, um, we would have to also wait for that as well. Okay, but the way the structure is looking like, it kind of does look like gold wants to buy from here, but we'll see. We need confirmation. We need a break of structure. We need a break of structure. What time is it? It's 8:30. Okay. Let's move back into the indices. Let's go into the 4 hour time frame here. Okay, the market opened at 51,383. We just recently retested the zones lows right here. Uh, this could pretty much be the beginning of a buy as well. And same situation with gold, US 30 will have to break structure and pull back for us to know for sure that this is what's going on. Now, if in London and New York we just keep retesting the zone, we're gonna have to go for the buys. I mean, we just had a 5 minute retest of this low. Structure looks good. Structure looks good for buys. We'll see. We'll see. GU had a really great drop going into the week. We are definitely going to be seeing retracements into this order block or the supply zone. I'm looking forward to see price respected or sweep above to potentially sell off even more. Um, we'll have to wait and see how price behaves. from this area of interest. Can you guys still hear me clearly?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Ah, all right, appreciate the feedback. Okay, now let's talk about Nas. Currently, the structure on Nas does look like price could go up to sweep 4 hour highs and then sell back into demand before breaking and making another new high. What we will need though is to see price respect Thursday's low here one more time in New York for us to be able to take a nice buy to the upside. But once price does break into 4 hour highs, definitely want to close profits and things of that nature. Um, this higher low is not complete just yet. But for the most part, Nas has been bullish because all the tech stocks have been doing pretty well. But we're getting to a point where, like, if they don't make a new high or they sweep this daily, we might see some sells. We just might before we see another new high. Let me see something here. Okay. Kaylee said, "Did you go over gold already?" Actually, we gonna double back on gold. All right, so yeah, when it comes to gold, looking at the daily time frame, it's pretty much looking like it does want to buy off the daily, right? But on M15, we more than likely might see a break of structure. And once we do get that, it'll confirm that gold is ready to buy. Okay. Because sometimes we notice that price gives a nice bullish rally only for it to just sweep the liquidity of the last few days or even respect London session. And every time the market respects London session highs in, let's say, New York session, we end up seeing price pulling back in or reversing back down. And for those of us who usually have eyes for bullishness, we get caught lacking every time because we're hopeful, we're expecting price to keep going to the upside, and then what ends up happening, get in a great position for buys, and then it turns into sells. I'm sure it's a couple of you guys struggling with this. Um, some of y'all, your best trades and your best winning streaks came from buys, came from when the market been bullish. So when the market is giving you like these strong pushes, and then you're looking at all this over here, you start to pull out the calculator like, oh shit, I'm finna make some bands. And then next thing you know, the market just right there stops right at London highs. And the next candle, straight back down. And honestly, I hate that stuff. But we just got to remember when we in some trades, your first target is London highs when you're in some buys. If they can't even get out, I mean, yeah, if they can't even get out of that range, be careful. Be careful. Hate that crap, but somebody got to tell the truth in here, man. Okay. I did like how gold used FOMC to just like sweep the liquidity of the 4 hour high. And it came like this: price was buying since the beginning of the session on FOMC, gave a nice breaking retest, but by two, price did as usual It goes right into the price action of where the morning was. And then all this selling, price retraced in Asia, retested it twice. And when you see a 1 hour lower high like this, it's usually a 24-hour trade. I'm mad I got out so early off this joint, but we live and we learn. You get a trade like this off Asian session lower highs on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night, you're gonna have to hold until the next morning. You're gonna have to hold until uh if you got in at like 12 a.m., just know 12 a.m. the next day is probably what the whole time is gonna have to be, you know? Gold does that a lot. 1 hour higher lows, retested twice. Oh, they going up for the next 24 hours. And that's why we're paying close attention to this zone right here, because it's looking like that might be the play as well. So, oh, I've been good. I've been good. I hope you've been well as also. Let me mark out this area here. All right. Yeah, let's see if we get a retracement. It's 8:36. KG said pattern recognition. Yes, sir. Yeah, this structure for sure looks bullish, yo. Uh, we might have to get in on these buys, but if we do, the stop loss would have to be like right there. Yeah, I'm still in Tampa. Okay. Okay, let's attempt for this trade right here. XAU USD buys with stop loss below 41.60. Once price makes a nice little retracement, we will be taking this trade. Okay. I like the way things are looking. Not yet. Just waiting on a little pullback. Because chances are sometimes, man, you get in a trade like this and they pull back in. But as long as they respect the higher low, could still get in. You know? Let's see what happens. It kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. So yeah, Mhm. That's true. KG said, man, gold looks like it's in consolidation. I'd wait for a breaking structure. Gold can get clumsy at times. I feel you. I feel you. If anybody who takes this trade regardless is aiming to figure out like where to take profit, I'll just do a quick trade targeting these highs right here. But the way it broke out, I'll probably just wait for retracement, man, because that's way outside the criteria of how I would get in the trade. And it would make me feel like I'm chasing, which I don't want to do. Okay. Mm. Price action on the chart is showing short-term buy and long-term sells on a lower time frame. Drop your analysis too, bro. You in the chat, right? You're in the Discord, right? If we can't break past last week's highs, yeah, I mean, we might see sells, but the way this demand is set up, mm, they would have to really like sell off hard one more time before buying from here. But either scenario is honestly um possible. Yeah. All right, let's see what US 30 up to. It's kind of funny because a lot of people were, including myself, with everything that was being said over the weekend about like once again the Strait of Hormuz being closed. I was thinking maybe we just start off with a big bearish gap, but I guess not. I guess not. Mhm. Okay. Oh, wrong chart, wrong chart. Okay. So yeah, we do see some bullish momentum. If we break out of that, pull back in, Data confirm it. Truth be told, let me drop down into the 5 minute. Man, that's some strong candles. I can't lie to y'all. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mhm. This week, if price ends up having like strong bullishness, one thing y'all gonna have to do on your personal accounts is have like conservative positions where you can just put in some of these positions, wait for a pullback, and swing. Because if we're having a swing week like the way it's starting to look like, you might not find the best sniper entries. But if the market, for example, retests retests Asian session in London, that'll be an opportunity for entry. If in New York we get price to retest London session lows, that'll be another opportunity for entry. Obviously buy positions, right? So we're early into the week, no need to rush, but we gotta also be ready to attack, ready to execute, things of that nature. Let's go to US 30. If price respects this low right here, let's go to the 4 hour. It might come with like a lot of bullishness, being the fact that the market pretty much has just filled that gap from last Sunday or last Friday. Yeah, it's Sunday. All right. Yeah, I think one of the things that concerns me is like we're starting this week and it's like the market doesn't really care um about the situation with the Hormuz fiasco, right? Look at this. Iran must immediately stop their highly paid proxies in Lebanon, blah, 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 blah. Last week, I remember hearing the new Fed talk about, you know what? Markets might be less reactive to, just sensitive news, like, or, outside factors, but more so just what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, the market might be less reactive and more towards just real data. So that's kind of keeping me in a sense of thinking maybe we might not see like weird reaction just because of the Strait of Hormuz news, and it's just gonna keep doing its thing, minding its business. We'll see. Typically for me, how I'm looking for confirmations is if like the previous sessions just respect or sweep um one another. Because right now, like, okay, sure, I would love to take buys, but I would need some sort of retracement, you know? Uh I almost took those buys for gold, but it just happened so fast. And yeah, like I was about to put my stop loss right here at 41.61. Probably would have been already up 100 pips, but that's why I got to make sure I fire up my trade station here with Trade Locker. So that way when I'm ready to make a decision, I'm not second guessing or I'm not wasting any seconds. Ooh. Ooh. Y'all heard that? Hold on. There I go rhyming again. I swear. Y'all heard that, right? Second guessing the not wasting any seconds. Damn. Swear I'll be a good ghostwriter. That's some Jadakiss type shit, man. Y'all not appreciating my rhymes enough out here. I don't understand, man. What kind of fans y'all is? Who y'all listen to? I know Dina appreciated this bar. Dina, where you at? We're not worthy. Come on, Mikey. Where my musicians at, man? Yeah, Quells. How you Twan out here hating. Never mind. Never mind. All right, let's just drop it. Let's just drop it. Let's just drop. I will not be disrespected on Father's Day. All right. Me and my kids will not tolerate this. It's disrespect. Okay, so we definitely got some action from gold going to the upside. Damn.
On a scale of 1 to 10, are you sick? How sick are you?
I'm sick. I'm sickening.
Now, what if that shit just ran like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 points, bro?
Then that's not my period. I'd have to disown that. I'm not too sick. I'm not too sick. It's Sunday. Hmm. Do I take account pair correlation when creating a confirmation bias? Yeah, for sure. You'll find me from time to time looking at GU, looking at gold. Damn, Kaylee, you just gonna okay, maybe I'm a little sick, just a little. Oh yeah, your daughter's name is no, your wife's name is Kaylee, right? Yeah. You gotta you gotta change that junk, bro. Got me out here calling you your wife's name, bro. My bad, fam.
Hey, I mean, gold don't have a problem with tanking up. It's just when it's out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And it's on your ass. It's like, yo, hey. Yeah, bro. I've had some bad afternoons after gold done spanked me in the morning. I'm like, damn, what do I do now? What do I do today?
I remember in 2022 when I was back testing gold, and then I was just trying to figure out different patterns with gold, and I'm seeing people eating off of gold. I'm like, man, y'all eating real good on gold. Like, let me get into this. But when I see the way that gold moves, I'm like, I don't think this is for me, man. I can't be up one day and then next week I'm down 3 weeks of profit.
You sound like Drake.
I can't be down 3 weeks of profit, man, because it don't feel right, man. Like you was grinding all 3 weeks
All the motion stops.
and then all the motion stops in 1 week. Oh no.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's why I'm always encouraging y'all to withdraw. Like, just make a little withdrawal, bro. And since it's a couple other people that wasn't on last week's webinar, I'm gonna repeat this one. Look, y'all are already six-figure traders. You're just not looking far enough, and you're not withdrawing enough to see the net profit. Okay. If in 2 to 3 years y'all consistently withdraw $300 to $500, you'll be surprised how 200 withdrawals later, your net profit ends up being over 70 to $80,000 net, not gross, net, right? Think about it like a dollar menu. Everything adds up, right? Well, we ain't got no dollar menus no more. But um And I always say this, start having a specific checking account where whenever you make withdrawals, it hits that one first. So by the time you start checking your statements, you're like, damn, when did I withdraw 10 bands? Or whoa, these past 4 months, man, I'm adding these things up and everything that came from withdrawals, man, that's 8K. Whoa. It's really gonna open your eyes to realizing, like, damn, I actually have been making withdrawals. Okay. Now, clearly this thing got some gas to it. Ridiculous. Oh
Yeah,
Lord.
you're starting to feel it, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. Digging up in every candle is like, you wasn't in there? Okay. That should feel hot. No, every time you see the next candle just just break through, and you're like, make it stop. Retrace, please. Please.
9 o'clock is coming, so it may retrace and then go up and
Yes.
just go
Yes,
down. So
my little gold whisperer, please.
let's
9 p.m.
see.
prayers.
9 o'clock, 'cause that's when it's officially open. So
Mm,
nine
yeah,
o'clock. Let's see.
yeah. Jaquel's the gold 9 p.m. whisperer, so we gotta start praying now, guys. What is it? 56.
Hey, don't do too much. This is not a signal. I say let's wait and
This
see.
is not a signal.
Don't wait on
That's the
me.
funniest disclaimer I heard.
Hey, it's just a tornado watch, okay?
Right. This is not the real thing.
You
Jeez.
know, you
Tornado
know the
what?
line to say. Past profits does not equate to
Guarantee
future
future
ones.
results. I'm weak. Yo, this nigga is certified crash out, bro. Yo. Damn, cuz. Hey, who told me not to get in that trade? Man said, not it. Full send. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we just officially broke out of this range. So yeah, we are not bearish. We're not bearish. So now what usually happens though is like, let's say in the next couple hours, right? We get that nice deep retracement. Then I'm all game. I'm all game. Uh-oh. My camera just says sayonara. Crazy.
What I do like about gold though is that when it moves, it's gonna move. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, it's gonna keep going up, down, up, down. It's gonna move. And
Mm.
if you miss the bus, hey, wait for the next one.
That's a fact, bro.
You get in that 50, man. You like, wait, all right, it looks
Right.
good. You get 50 pips, tank straight down, tank up. Yeah.
Nowadays, you could catch 300 pips off gold, like 500 pips off gold. Gold sold 1900 pips off of this play right here, but you just got to know when to be ready to even hold on to a trade like that. And I've been waiting for price to retrace back in here, ever since what 2 weeks ago now. because that was the first leg off the daily that brought it all the way over here. So, yeah, I'm not surprised we getting all this bullishness, man. Golly, shit.
Easy.
Oh, for the love of God, please retrace. No, I'm just kidding. It'll retrace in a couple hours, but I'll be
Ouch.
sure not to miss this one. My God, bro. But that's what we was asking for. We were asking for a price to break structure so we know for sure if it's bullish. And it's like, all right, go set, hold my coins. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like gold is getting ready. Probably by New York session, you might see the real move or something. But yeah, London entry is gonna be right here.
Yeah. London entry is definitely gonna require just retracement within this candle right here. Let me check and see how we're doing with indices. It looks like the institutions are already stepping in, or just market maker algos pushing the market. Uh, yeah, I don't think they're gonna stop for any what's it called, straight horror moves fiasco. I think they just gonna do what they want to do. But yeah, the way we're looking at Friday's range right here and the market open right here, I'm seeing potential bullishness all over the board for indices. I didn't finish what I was saying about pair correlation or asset correlation. I usually look at, you know, Nas US 30 um, to determine where I think the market's going to go. But once I see all the indices and commodities just pumping, I'm already knowing whose footprint is in here. Sometimes you see gold buying, you see Nas buying, you see US 30 buying. That's just them dumping money into, like, they're repricing the market all at once. Not that they're quote unquote 100% correlated, but you can tell like they're pumping money into all of these asset classes.
Yeah, that's definitely a pretty good way to look at it. Using indices to, you know, storm track what's really going on in between all the other like major economies out there with, Aussie, got the Great British Pound and the yens and stuff like that. Because at times, that correlation could be like the final like nail on the head, being like, all right, we definitely moving this route. Because there'd be some split times where you have the two pairs that you think correlate side by side, but then one day goes to show that one is lagging behind just
Yeah.
because some news event or something happened. But you're like, wait, why isn't you know Ozzy and Gold not hitting? So like, what's going on?
Oh
You know?
shit. Yeah, I agree with you. Um, Isaiah said, "What are my thoughts on SpaceX?" So last week we talked about SpaceX and we said, "Hey, don't be surprised if the market retraces back into this area of interest." Who remembers me talking about that?
Me.
Hmm. We said we would potentially see a retracement on SpaceX mainly because we have to create price. Like institutions still have to create price. If all of the investors that just got in um, went about buying it right here, price pulling back here should not scare anybody. This is stocks we're talking about. Pullbacks are great. So just dollar cost average, like when y'all trading stocks or investing in stocks, this is great news. This is not, oh, I'm trying to catch the perfect entry. This is, okay, I got in right here. It pulls back into 170. Okay, I'm getting in at 170. It sells back into 148. Even better, I'm getting into 148. And over the next 5, 10 years, you just end up having just enough shares to cover, or just invest into an ETF, right? ETFs basically have all the S&P 500 stocks. Sometimes they have just like the best stocks out of the Nasdaq and all of that, and then you just you just average around 9 to 10% per year. And you call it a day. A lot safer. Okay. Definitely a good time to buy as well, though. Hey, do your own due diligence, but yeah, this retracement makes sense. Mhm. Let's check back on Tesla. Oh yeah, all the damn stocks is coming back into areas of interest from earlier earlier weeks of June, which is a good look for indices. It's a great look for indices. Let's check MU real quick. That's Micron Technology. Oh Lord, this is looking great, but man, these things are expensive. Good Lord. I would not buy Micron Technology right now. It's already too high. Meta is nicely trading at 577, but on a daily demand zone, this is great. This looks good. Let's see. Oh wow. What happened to am I tripping, or where's the little summary that used to be here? Or oh, okay, that's me. My bad. Next earning report is in the next 38 days. Okay. Huh. Next earnings report is on July 29th. That's perfect. Quells.
Yeah, Hans, I forgot to share something with you. So I was on the Blacklist guy,
Yeah.
his TikTok live. I
Hmm.
forgot what day it was. I don't know if it was, I think it was over this weekend. Life be, I got a lot going on all the time with these kids. But yeah, I think it was just Saturday, or was it Friday morning? I don't know. Yeah, I think it was Friday morning. So he showed us like this screen that shows us different months, basically like how the different companies perform.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that something he has on the low? Or I'm wondering if that's available for all of us to have, because if it is, that's a huge cheat sheet.
Hmm. He didn't show which platform he saw this on.
So that's what I was trying to look at. I took a screenshot, but let me find the screenshot, because I didn't see a website or nothing. I just saw like the months and the dates and the data. Like it would show red or green. Up here it is. I found it. Okay, I'm gonna send it to you.
All right, appreciate it.
But yeah, I'm just like, damn, that's a huge. But obviously, I don't want to ask them because I don't got time to be fighting on TikTok.
That's
So
too funny.
I just saw it and was like, okay, let me save this and look at it later.
Hmm. Yeah, we're slowly we are slowly inching into quarter 3 of the year. Okay. I see what that's that looks familiar. I think I know what that is. Hmm. No, I think it's part of TradingView's usual 1 second. I think I know exactly what that is. Yeah, I think it's the seasonals.
So basically, with this information, he was just telling us that this is how he knows what the companies are going to do prior. For example, like gold normally buys when it normally buys, and so he'll show the photo that I just sent you
Yeah, I
and
think it's
figure
this
out what
right.
he'll be doing, like whether he'll be buying or selling. He was even saying that Nas should be buying. Everybody's thinking it's gonna short, but it's gonna be buying a lot.
Yeah, there
From
it
here on
is.
out.
It's somewhere around here. I think it's somewhere around these data sets. So how I did it is one, I went into yeah, there it is. It's the statements. Statements and quarterly earnings and things of that nature. First you gotta I forget how I get straight into this, John. 1 second. So when you want to see all this information from these stocks, you gotta first click on it, and then you're gonna get to these four squares, and you're gonna hit financials, and then that'll pop up. All right, so this is really cool because like TradingView is going to the next level. You can see the balance sheet, you can see the cash flow, all that.
So
But
you think that was through Trading View?
yeah,
Hmm.
he might be showing like, earnings. For example, if I'm looking at the picture, uh, it definitely shows a few things that looks similar to what we're looking at right now. But it might be something different. But for example, like as you can see, when we're looking at metrics, surprise and estimate and reported for Q2s and Q3s and Q4s for Tesla, you see how like Q2 price not price but the stock gave about 4% gains. Q3 about it lost or damn 5% in Q4 in 2024 was wild. Q1 -9%, then Q2 again. So we can see like throughout the years for even Tesla, a company like that, it does fluctuate, but by the end of the year, it makes great returns. But 9% in Q1 of 2025. That was when the situation was going on with him and Trump. It was beefing. And then the stock dropped sharply, but we had a really strong Q3 of 2025. And yeah, okay. So the earnings report. So the next earnings report for Tesla. The next earning report is in 31 days for Tesla. And that's going to be on July 22nd, which is why, remember, we've been talking about how August is usually like end of July is usually a good time for stocks to buy, and then not just stocks, but indices too. Remember, we were saying like these long-term buy positions that we want to get in for gold, like that would most likely happen towards the end of July, first week of August, second week of August. So my wife asked how long you've been trading, how long you've been full-time living off of trading. uh I've been trading since 2015, since I was in college. I graduated university in 2017. I started trading full-time in 2020, but I mean 2020 was rough. Obviously, we know COVID happened. I have no choice. 2021, got married. Was still, making some profits here and there. I became an educator. 2022, getting my foot in. But I always just made sure to withdraw often, right? Whether it's not that great of a year or whatever, but at least I'm taking, enough withdrawals just to take care of stuff. 2023, I really understood what I was doing. Um, Very strong profits and stuff. 2024 is probably one of my biggest years. Um, it carried me over for 2025, literally. 2026 ain't been that great performance wise, but it's teaching me a lot. I'm paying attention to seasonals. I still know how to live below my means. And you gotta pivot, you gotta be a hustler, you gotta do whatever it takes. So training full time is not the big story that everybody thinks it is, right? I've lost. The interesting thing is, as I started making big returns, I also would take big losses. So it's like, it's weird how growth looks. I'm like, damn, I ain't never lost, let's say, $46,000 before. But damn, I remember 2021, I couldn't even have fathomed making having a 50K day or whatever the case is, right? So it takes capital, yo. I'm not gonna hold you. It takes capital. Like, you could achieve a lot making 6, 7, 10K a month with just a 30K account, or a 25K trading account, personal trading account. Why? Because if you just withdraw 1 to 2K or $700, $800, you withdraw twice in a week, and you pay attention to your bank statements, you pay attention to your day-to-day living situation. You're like, damn, just pretend like you're living like an IT consultant, or a cybersecurity person. Like, if you want to make a certain type of living off of trading, you got to know like what your finances is looking like. I don't like to glorify the whole trading full-time thing, because everybody's financial situation is different. Like, there's been months where like I was not producing. I'm like, damn, yo, I gotta slow down, or I gotta pay off my credit card bills or whatever. And mind you, guys, I'm still figuring out how to be the type of trader where I'm fully accepting that you can make trading a business. You can, be an influencer. You can leverage uh being an affiliate for the broker. Is the same way when people are like influencers and getting paid off of brand deals, or just being an Amazon frequent shopper, and they're like, hey, use my code whenever you buy so and so. The same way back in the day, dudes was doing Amway and they was telling you to buy their product. It's no shame in it, but you just got to have proven to yourself that you can make money off of trading. I've seen different type of trading days where I'm satisfied and I know who I am. Even sometimes where I'm feeling like, damn, yo, it's like I'm messing up or I'm going on tilt, whatever the case is. But I'm like, but hey, bro, sometimes I go back into my own camera roll. I'm like, hey, you still the trader that did this, bro. You still the trader that like was trading multiple accounts, private and public, personal. Like, you've had these strong days, like you're capable of doing it again. So it's put me in a position where I'm like, okay, I know myself, I know what I'm capable of, I know how to pick myself back up. I can see which months I'm not too well performed. I can see how I can pick up in the next couple of months. I could see how I need to go back to, some of my scalping or intraday opportunities just to get to my goals. That's basically how I've been trading full time, you know? As long as I keep getting those type of withdrawals that I need to take care of my bills, then that's really all that matters. You get me? So I know this was a long-winded answer, but I hate not being real with someone, as they look either up to you, or they would like to kind of open up the curtains of what is it like to be a full-time trader? What does that even look like? You know? It also feels like, damn, it's cool that I have the freedom to like be there for family from time to time, but it does feel pressuring too. Like, man, I can't be lollygagging too much. I need to be focused in the space where I perform best, which is when I'm back home. So, yeah, I hope that helps. hmm Um, full-time trading and expecting payouts is dicey as hell. You got to really have a great system, and you have to aggressively save. A lot of people see their favorite trading influences. They make they have a nice run, and the next thing they tell you is they want to buy a supercar. That's not your life. Save for the first priority you should have is like trying to think about saving for the 3 months emergency savings that you always needed. First thing. Try even go for 6 months. I think that's better. You know? This is the type of conversation that's more realistic. People don't really tell you because you're not gonna know how to even get to that level if you're not prioritizing where the withdrawals are happening. Like if it's all over the place and you don't have a specific account where you're like, wow, 2026, I actually made 100 withdrawals and it came up to 20,000. You're like, okay, well, I made an extra 20,000 off of trading. But if y'all just soon as that joint hit, it just goes straight into the personal account and y'all can't keep up with the data, y'all will never know if it's time to like take the leap. Does that make sense, guys? All right, Brody.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't got no glamorous story to sell you yet. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just tell you the real.
Give
Everybody
us the
So
wants
you're
real,
to.
normal,
bro.
just like us, man. It's okay, buddy.
Yeah, I'm normal, bro.
Real.
Normal. Of course, I want to scale, but even when I do scale, it's still gonna have to be that type of conversation. I got a lot of people that depend on me, mouths to feed. So it's not like I'm trying to be a superstar. Like I'd rather if I get my hands on more funds and more revenue, I'm probably gonna be the type to like save and go into businesses that can help me not be on the charts for so long all the time. Cause it feels good to just like, oh, I'm having a bad trading month. I'm just taking the whole month off. Oh, I'm having a bad few weeks. You know what? I'm gonna check back in August. It's instead of trying to make something shake just for the sake of the fact that like this is your active income. Speaking of what you said with the broker conversation, yeah, go ahead, Quells. Ask away. Oh, you texted me. Oh, I did see that. I did see that thumbnail. Let me tell y'all something.
You saw the thumbnail.
Yeah, I saw it on
It
my
came out
Instagram.
of nowhere. Like I'm telling you, every time I see something about him, it be coming out of left field. I don't even be typing in his name or nothing.
I know, but I told you. But here's
Oh,
the thing.
Hans, they said spill the beans. You can tell them. I mean, I don't care. I was just sending it to you, but if
I
you want
hate
to
that
tell them,
side has a genuine soul, but like, um, I I don't like to bash him neither. I feel like he's a kid who he's smart. He's he's got a big following. He's got a cult following. But the thing is, I got to see what's real. Even if y'all get to see me using a marketing account, a performance account just to help promote a broker going forward, trust and believe I'll never tell you guys I made 1 million in one day off of a trade. Bro, it takes a lot of money, a lot of energy. And I told y'all this from different perspectives. It's a good thing to be a big fish growing out of a pond. And I'm going to tell you why this statement is very deep. If you're making a mill in one trading day, that broker is no longer able to keep up with you, cuz. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a kid who grew 7 inches in height in one summer. They're gonna have to get you a new bed. You can't keep acting like, oh, let me tell you how I got up from my bunk bed this morning at 7 feet 5, bro. No, you outgrew your clothes. So how are you still trading here? Okay, even the people who have like the biggest equity ownership or the biggest uh what's the word? Like even the owner, even the guy that I knew who was the original owner don't put in 3 million in a broker. And I'll tell you why. This is what I've learned about trading. The more comfortable you become, the less you would even want to trade 7 figures plus in a broker that's like the average broker for everybody. The reason why is like the broker business makes more bread from deposits, which is not an evil thing. That's how every banks make the most money out of deposits. It's just how it works. But the thing is, when you walk in a bank, right? If you just have less than 25,000 in a checking account, that's fine. Once you start having more, they got to upgrade you to a whole different service. You get me? It's all about upgrades. And that broker itself doesn't service clients that are like high 7 figure earners, and they would have to run they would get in trouble paying you out because most of the funds are revenue based funds. They're not money in circulation. They don't even have like a client, so the liquidity provider will be the only ones that have to like deal with that type of trader, you know? But bigger operations, bigger platforms, they have no problem servicing those clients because they have 8, 9 figures in clientele. Plus, they have tier 1, tier 2 banks that can like do transactions with those high figure clients so that way it doesn't take bread away from the revenue that the broker is making. Because you don't want a broker to be broke. I swear I don't do that on purpose. You don't want the broker to go broke trying to pay everybody else if their biggest client keeps freaking knocking out 7 million, 3 million. Like, bro, we only have 2 million and half of it goes towards paying for, you know, broker operations, or sometimes maybe 20% of it pays the average traders. If you got a big ass client that keeps making 5, 6 million dollars, you won't have enough to pay everybody else, including keeping the lights on. Does that make sense? And it's because it sucks because a lot of people don't even know how a broker operates. They don't know what revenue an average broker makes. So then they're like, well, like if he's making casual 7 M's, that's fine. The broker will pay if a broker making $35 million a month. Well, not every broker makes that type of money a month, nor can deal with that type of clientele. Okay. So can they withdraw that? Look, this is a conversation I've had with a broker owner. If somebody needs to withdraw, let's say 2 million, it would probably have to take 3 wires throughout like the month, like the period of the month. If you need 400 grand, like it might take like 4 days for them to finally like send it out to you. 2 days based on like how much in crypto they have, or if they have like banking relationships where the bank or liquidity provider um will pay that out, because then they're probably in partnership with banks. So they get a percentage, let's say they charge in the bank 2%. Like now you're dealing with people who need to help you be more liquid to take care of your operation, you know? So 300K, yes, 200K, yes, you'll get that paid out. But if you got a client that keeps making that like every week, bro, hey, I'm sorry, we can't service you. You're gonna have to go elsewhere. Like you're graduating. So that's the problem with like trying to act like you're making $7 million off of one trade. Like that'd be high slippage. There's be a lot of slippage because no one else is trading at your caliber in that broker. So then the order book wouldn't be able to sustain you. Y'all probably thinking like, what the hell is an order book? When you get into a trade in a broker, it's like all the trades are happening on the order book. Okay. So now B book is normally what like a broker is using. And the B book is just for the major clients who are taking trades, and half the time on the B book, if you take a trade for buys, the B book is just going to match that trade and just get in sells, right? Because for every buyer, there has to be a seller, so they have to match you. A book, every trade you take, it's either the broker is taking it alongside you because now those are bigger tier clients or more consistently profitable traders, right? Now they'd rather take that trade alongside you so they could send it to the liquidity provider right away to match the execution of clicking buy or sell. So for the most part, B book traders, 90% of traders, they lose those funds within the first 30 days and the first 90 days. So it's not even profitable for the trader to even trade alongside you. So those just are kept as revenue for the broker. So imagine if like 3,000 people is depositing $500. How much is that? 150? 150K, or let me do the math. 3,000 people times $500. 1.5 mil. I was scared to I was like, sound like 1.5. 1.5 mil. So like imagine on average, how much deposits are people putting? Around 500, 400 to $1,000, right? So if you got 3,000 traders even trading on a day-to-day basis, that's about the revenue that you can expect a broker to make or see in deposits. That makes sense, right? 1.5 mil. Now, if towards the 30-day period, for example, at least half of that gets withdrawn because traders have this bad habit of not paying themselves. And then by the time the like 45th day comes around, that person probably done already deposited $400 to $300 to $200 a few times. By the end of the year, if you really look at your statements of deposits, you'll be like, damn, I deposit $20,000 into that broker. When did I do that? Because you never thought about the 200 to 300 that you keep depositing reoccurrently. That's why I keep saying withdrawal reoccurrently is going to be exactly like the opposite of what you're doing for the broker. You get me? So I'm trying to get y'all to understand, like, if a broker is making at least 1.5 mil a month, let's say, right? It would be a problem if somebody keeps freaking making 7 million, bro. We don't have that for you. Now, if there's about 20,000 traders depositing at least $500, right? 20,000 traders depositing at least $500 every month. That broker's making around 10 million a month. Would they love, they couldn't even still pay you 7 million because that's still 70% of their revenue. Why would they want a trader like that? Huh? And lastly, if you're making $1 million or so, that means you got to be worth at least 10 times that. No one feels okay in their right mind to not be worth M's or even be worth M's and put in that much money at risk into trading. You need to be like at least a 10, 8-figure earner to feel comfortable putting 7 figs into a trading account. Half of y'all, including myself, don't even like putting so much money into a trading account anyway. Most people put 300 to 500, right? Because that's kind of around the ballpark of what you would feel safe. Even if you lost it, you would be fine. So imagine a multimillionaire. He would also feel the same way because he's human. He'd be like, look, if I got 7 figures in the bank, I got some money in stocks or whatever, real estate. I'm throwing 100 or maybe 200 into like stocks, or for the next 10 years, they want to have a nice seven-figure portfolio over time, not all at once, right? So even with a seven-figure earner, they're probably gonna like throw 50K into a trading account if they really know what they're doing. Like they'll have like they'll play money into the account, 20K, like just because you're like, yo, I gotta weigh out my risk here. I have to think long term. I can't be throwing seven figs. You know how long somebody had to work hard to even earn seven figures? They don't want to lose it overnight. So when you start talking like that, you really start to open your eyes on, you know what? First of all, there's a lot of red flags here. No one's throwing away and gambling that much money for fun, because the higher you go, you never want to go back to square one. Bars. Whatever. Yeah. Y'all get it. As a person,
Hey, I get it, Hans. You know,
yeah.
I
As
100%.
as a person side, I can't say this nigga's a weirdo or he's a bad guy or
But
like,
where is he getting the money from?
it's not money, it's a fake account.
Yeah, but how is he living like that, bro? Like,
Living like what, bro? Traveling?
yeah, like how is he getting it?
He's 22. The fuck? If you get good credit, bro, it's not that bad. It's not that deep to travel. Like, what's traveling? Traveling is not that super expensive, especially okay. You got to think about it. Psy has a huge following, and he has a pretty good broker deal, probably, right? When you have a great following in any industry, and you are referring someone to a broker, or you have a good commission, you could live off of that, bro. If you're making 12, 20,000, $40,000 a month or whatever, yo, you good. You good. You know what I mean? Like it's not that deep to travel. And plus, once you got great credit and you go and get like business funding and you have multiple LLCs, man, you could pay that off on a business credit card, and at the end of the year, you could write off these expenses too. Like, yo, he's not dumb. You get me? And he has made probably up to 3 M's in like broker deals and affiliations, and he has a huge following. That means whatever he does, even if he does a clothing brand, bruh, once you create a brand that's strong and people fuck with you, like he also has like, I think, how many followers does he have now in on YouTube? He probably getting paid off of YouTube too. Like he's making some money. But the account that he keeps saying is like, it doesn't make sense for a Forex broker for just one client to be making that off of that broker. I know there are some seven-figure earners that have like a nice seven-figure account, like a $2 million account. Like Alex's $2 million account is real, right? But he's making so much money now, like he can afford that. And he likes to trade with high capital. Like for example, myself, the highest I've had in the trading account is about like 230. But look, he has 500K subscribers. On average, look at the numbers he's making off of like YouTube. This is a great, strong following. Like if I forget what this guy taught me about, I forget what it is, how to see YouTube metrics tracker or something like that. Oh, I think it is Social Blade. Yeah, it is Social Blade. All right, so let me show you something. Trades
I'm
by
not gonna lie, like I'm happy that I know that you know him personally because when I speak to someone else about a topic like this, they're just not even gonna understand, right? So, like, for example, I was talking to this girl on TikTok and me and her were in like, okay, all right, boy. We both are in like another trading group. And then she was like, oh, how she's learned from like being there. And I was like, yeah, learned, but like, my original OG mentor taught me a lot of things too. And she was like, oh, who's that? So I shared your TikTok page with her, and she was like, "Oh, okay, I never heard of him." And I was like, "Well, you haven't heard of everyone in the world, but he's really dope. He has a lot of great things that you can learn from." And so we was talking about the San situation, and I was like, "He actually personally knows him." And she's like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I can't recall exactly what we was talking about after that, but she was just mentioning how he's a good teacher and this and that, and then like. I didn't break it down to her, but like I just kind of sprinkled some stuff in her brain. And I didn't even want to
Yeah.
get into it because I'm like, yeah, she's not
Yeah.
gonna get it because she don't
Yeah.
know
Okay,
you.
that's the
And I
thing.
know you, and I know you're not gonna front. And I've seen you guys together, especially with the whole fortune thing. Like she doesn't know as much as I know, as much as I've seen. So I'm just like, okay, well, the positive is at least I, of course, put you out there to someone else that's a trader, and
I
we'll
appreciate it.
see.
And I gotta pull my own weight and posting and stuff. The reason why I like talking about this whole side situation is number one, I don't have a personal relationship with him anymore. Right. But yeah, he has my personal number. He's probably not ever going to reach out to me at this point now. I don't follow him anymore on Instagram. I think 2 weeks ago I just said, man, I can't sit here and keep watching him say things like, "Oh, I made a 11 million." Like I don't co-sign that. But there's been times like even last year I would, post and he would always be watching my story at some point. Um and like I remember I posted something and he reposted it and he called me big bro and stuff. And we had podcast episodes like when he was with Fortunes and a few times when there was like the liquid broker events, he was there. We were kind of like, we were cool. So it was cool. But the more things started getting out of hand, even his closer friends like Stu and what's this other guy's name? Drew. They're like, yo, bro, I love you, so like you need to cut it out. Like, come on, you're overdoing it at this point. Like, it's getting crazy. But when you talk into these young cats online, they just see you as a hater. And the thing is, his content is pretty good online. Like his educational content is very simple, is dope. I can't lie, it's dope. But the where I draw the line is where he's like overly saying, "Oh, I made 7 million." Like no one would care unless it would start to be a problem for the broker, or it just makes the whole industry look weird. And plus, it's just like saying I have 1,000 horsepower car in a Honda that you just tuned up. It's like, yo, come on, bro, come on. Like we would be okay if you're like, hey, I have a 700 horsepower tuned up, you know, Aston Martin or not even an Aston Martin, like a Hellcat. But when you're saying, oh, I have a 7,000 horsepower Chevy Hellcat, it's like, bro, come on, man. Like a car like that couldn't even handle that much horsepower. You would blow it up. You're if you're making millions, just go use a broker or even show people that, hey, I've made this revenue, but I've moved it into Robinhood. This is where I'm trading now. I'm trading on Thinkorswim. I'm trading on platforms that can handle seven-figure clients. There's nothing wrong with being a seven-figure client, but don't act like you're making seven figures on a broker that can't handle multiple seven-figure payouts all the time. Stu made 1 million. He was able to withdraw half of it and then the other half a few weeks later. Okay, that makes sense because you got loud. the provider, the broker, to be able to have that for you so they can still pay everybody off, right? So, um, but because he has good content and simple content and it works for some people, you can never say nothing about him. It's like, yeah, y'all just haters. Y'all just, it's like, bro, it's not even about that. You got to call the good with the good and the bad with the bad and just close the damn chapter. Now, Social Blade is when you check out like people, including myself, like if you have an Instagram or TikTok or whatever social media page, it shows you the channel statistics and like where you rank and what estimated earnings you can make off of your actual subscribership and your views. Cause like YouTube pays people for views after 1,000 views. All right. Now this is his grade, the C plus. That's high. 449,000 subscribers. That's a lot, right? On average, you see like the subscribers, the views. This looks good. Like you should anybody who has a YouTube, like you kudos to anybody who's reached that level because this is great. Organically, that's amazing, right? Him as a brand, he's definitely doing a lot, getting himself attention. That's great. Like look at FX Alex G. Um, I'm gonna have to change laptop soon because I don't like how this thing be freezing and shit. Um, okay. He's consistent. Like I can't hate on anybody if I'm not as consistent like on social media to even talk like it. Then people will not understand where I'm coming from, and that's fair. FX Alex.
But it's a difference between like being consistent on social media versus being consistent, I think, with trading.
Right,
Because if social media goes away tomorrow, then what?
right. Look at Alex, right? Great, C plus. And whenever you go above like 400K, like you're gonna get a C plus. 317,000 subscribers. Uh oh, 1.29 subscribers. And he's ranked 1,300 in all of the subscribers list of like YouTubers, right? Education 633rd. But look, he's knocking it out of the park. 66K views, 70K view, 80K views on like on each on videos. Daily average subscribers over 600 subscribers per day, 66K views. Like these are great numbers. This is where Psy is ranked right now, like up there. Mr. Beast, 503 million subscribers. Look at his grade, A plus plus. He's ranked first in subscriber rank. Crazy in the US in the entertainment space. Crazy. This is his monthly estimated earnings, right? 1.6 million to 26 million off of YouTube alone. So, metrics is good. But like make no mistake, man, when it comes to trading, like some people just like overly cap and it's not good, you know? It's just not, it's not a good look. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I hope that really brought like some clarity to y'all. But yeah, the kid is not it's not dumb, but traveling and stuff is not super expensive. And that's the thing. Not everybody travels, so they wouldn't even think to know like how much does that cost to make expenses like that. Secondly, some of the young followers, they never touch money. They don't talk around money. They don't know much about money. They don't even use Chat GPT efficiently to even ask some questions. And that's another thing. And right now, people be they just social media be weird in the sense of like you say one thing like, oh, stop dick riding. Oh, stop pocket watching. Oh, you just a hater. SYBAU. And no one really wants to stop and think or ask the right questions. Or, like they don't even watch enough good shows around money to just think about, okay, so what's it like to make $1 million? How would I get paid? Um, I mean, think about it. on a day-to-day basis at the ATM, you can't even withdraw certain amounts of money. At the local branch, you can't even withdraw a certain amount of money. If you want to get 50 bands or 200K, you're gonna have to schedule an appointment. But some people don't even have they don't even want to think this high because they know that they feel like they never gonna even get to that point. So they don't even know what it's like, don't think about it, don't ask questions. So whatever they see online, they just eat it up. They just eat it up. But yo, it's a lot of people making big money in the world now, especially in this digital age. Like some dudes are really, really making a lot of money. And look, anyways, yeah, especially when you're 23, no kids and single. Yeah, life is good when you got all of that. Does he have family that he's supporting? Probably. His mom, I think his mom is sick or something like that. But anyways, I don't want to keep talking about the man, bro. Like to be honest. All right, let's see how gold is still looking. Back to chart, especially in 20-day prior trading with foreign unregulated broker. Yeah, I mean it don't even matter for real with the unregulated brokers as long as they pay out. Unregulated in the US is not too scary because the US wouldn't even allow us to trade gold or US 30. That's one thing, or NASDAQ, right? Um, Offshore brokers do. That's why like an Asian broker, brokers that register in the US Virgin Islands or Cyprus and Greece, you still need like if you're licensed by a broker, you still can't do shady stuff. And the more licenses you have, the more you are under scrutiny if something happens. It's just like France has regulations. France France has licensing offers. France has banks. But is France illegal if some a business is regulated in France and not in the US? No. It's just like what are we looking for? And for the most part, and I'm gonna finish with this, a lot of people worry about whether it's regulated, unregulated. How much are you depositing? $500. Like, get the hell out of here. Everybody, yo, you don't even have to worry. No one is gonna grab your $500. You should worry more when you're putting like 20 over, at least over 10. Now it's like, bro, okay, the money's getting serious. We need to make sure this thing is super legit because that's not no light money. But the broker wants you to forever drop $500. They love that. You're the little fish, but if it's about 5,000 of y'all doing that, that's great cheese. That's like good money on. Like that's sweet. That's actually operating business because like people are gonna comfortably put in 300, 400, $500 like it's nothing very often. So that helps to keep the light bills on. They not going to just like take your bread. But of course, when you got your when you got your coins, it matters to you. Every dollar counts. I get it. But you got to think about it from the broker's perspective. Why would they take your 500 and run? Come on, bro. No. It's 500. Shit got to be big enough for you to make a clean getaway. Like, if you have 500K, then okay, I'll be like, all right, yeah, you need to make sure you move cautiously over here. You know, if if you got guys like me, guys like QB Stu, you see how much is getting withdrawn, and it's not a fully U.S. regulated like the fully U.S. regulated brokers. Look, I remember in 2018, even with Webull, I think it was like was it Thinkorswim? I remember you needed $25,000 to even open up like a options account or like a trading stock trading account. And I'm like, oh, damn. Then we all stayed and stuck to Forex because it's like, man, you could throw $200, $100, they'd accept that. So like it takes a lot more serious money to really trade, you know? I think that covers everything when it comes to that topic. Okay. So how y'all doing with having a personal trading account? I had to bring that back because I can tell when there's not much payouts happening with the prop firms, I can feel the energy in the chat, right? But I always tell y'all, like, if you got a personal account, even a .01 trading gold off the right setups, you're gonna make an extra $50, extra $100, extra $200. Y'all still need something on the side because that's your money. I don't think y'all really love trading rules like that for you to just constantly just focus on the prop. You got to manage these things. You got to at least have an account for each different purpose. Please keep thinking about that. Now, with that being said, um, I'm not sure if y'all logged back into Genesis to see how much uh, new features and great like things that they still got going on. Like we talked about the 10x challenge. I've actually, I always like to put my money where my mouth is. I always like to also try things to just let y'all know how I feel about it. I told y'all about the 10x challenge a few months prior, where you could just put $125 in, and it'll start you off at 1250 because it's a 10x account. But remember, the 125 is still the margin. It's still the balance. So if you can trade above that equity, just like a prop firm, then you're good. Then as it grows and you have a $250 deposit or balance, you now have a 2500 equity. I still think this is great stuff for those of you guys who just want to not only have an account to trade with, but still want to stay accountable because you still know you should not lose 10% of that 1250 because that's the whole margin. But you could actually build off on top of it. Okay, so recently, whenever I do remember, I take a few trades here and there, and so far, as you guys can see, uh, in the month of June, I took a little bit of trade, lost $14 here, lost $1 here. But Tuesday, June 9th, mind you, this broker, it has a trade calendar already connected to it, which is cool. You don't need TradeZella with this broker. Made $13 on the 17th, made 135 on the 11th. All right, so overall, it puts me at a grand total of just like having 380. But look at the metrics, the trading statistics. Shows win rate, shows risk to reward ratio. It shows me my profit factor. It even has a trading AI coach over here. Y'all see it on the right corner? If I click that, you can even ask it questions like, hey, how am I doing on the 10x account? Let me see what it says. Oh, well, it's basically breaking down the whole entire accounts that I have, right? So it says focus on US 30, your performance is strong. It identifies things based on my own trading performance. It says, gee, these are your biggest detractors. You need to critically analyze your entry exit, lost this quickly. It literally analyzes your own trading account performance to give you like key pointers and suggestions. Now, here's another thing that they got going on with Genesis. Genesis now, if you go to you click on Trade Locker and you click on Journal, you could literally hit the replay button on your trades. So I could click right here and I could hit a replay on that trade for free. I think that's pretty dope. And to be honest, when y'all be asking me to like get in on a one-on-one and you telling me how things went down, I'd much rather get in on a one-on-one with you and you show me your performance data and I can keep up with it because it's already connected with this broker. Or if you have a trade Zella or something where I could see your last 30 days performance so I could help you out. Or sometimes if you don't want to share it with nobody, you could literally have this AI coach tell you what you're doing wrong and what do you know, what do you think can be done with improvement and stuff like that. You know? So I think this platform is really solid. And the last thing I want to show you guys is when you click on Market Watch, you click on Terminal. Look at that. Like they even have Bloomberg right here, CNBC. They got headline over here. Top movers, gold, silver. Got in market insights. Even the Middle East cameras, Jerusalem, Washington, Tokyo. Like they doing a lot of great stuff. We over here on trade sessions, it tells you what session you're in. Economic calendar right here. Literally, just like Forex Factory. Consumer sentiment. Okay. So this is I ain't never seen no broker besides this one doing what they're doing here. And I gotta admit, it's pretty cool, you know? And for those of you guys who do want to actually be affiliates as well, holla at me. I don't mind actually putting y'all in position where, hey, when people are asking you, when you posting on your story, hey, what broker do you trade? You can make some money too. Like you can make some commissions too, you know? So um that's what I wanted to break down. Y'all holla
Did
at
they do the whole live thing? I think before they were saying how they're gonna have like a live session or something like that.
yeah, they're working on it.
Oh, okay, okay. But they did say that, right? I'm not sure.
I believe so. I think they have like a free signals thing that they're also working on. Yeah. Put me on with that brandy. I got you, bro. I for sure got you. I don't think you're in a hold on, let me see something. Y'all want me to show you something funny? I've made a good 10K overall in affiliate and commissions just off of just lot sizes being used. But here's let me show y'all something. You're already a customer. Okay, you're gonna have to be affiliated with me and I'll help you be a partner. Let me show you, let me share something with y'all. Look at how much in deposits have been made. But look at how much in withdrawals have been made. So that's why I keep encouraging y'all to withdraw. Because if you're not withdrawing, it kind of sucks. That is just, input and no output. I don't make money off of deposits, but the broker does. So understand within a 12-month period, if you withdraw and you appreciate the money that you make as a trader, no matter how small, like you make a habit of withdrawing, you're gonna see more upside than anything. And when you look back a few years from now, you're not gonna feel discouraged that you've been trading for so long, you got nothing to show for it. And over time, if you stick around long enough with trading and you withdraw as often as you could, I can't see 10 years going by and y'all not telling me y'all didn't have at least a high six-figure net profit of results and statements from trading. It just wouldn't make no sense for that not to be the case. Mm. All right, back to gold. So we did get that pullback that we were asking for. That's a retracement for sure. So I would wait till the 12:30 or London to get in. But this definitely looks like a break and retest. Let me see, but yeah, we're definitely seeing potential buys for end of season gold. Not to be off topic, but paper toilet rolls help me with risk management. It's gonna be buying more, just being real. Okay. Okay. So, Isaiah, do reach out to me. Text me what your email is for Genesis. And if you did sign up already on your own, then you're gonna have, if you want to be an affiliate with Genesis, I'm gonna have to make sure like your actual email is under my organization so I could give you that type of opportunity. All right. So do text me or just message me on Facebook. All right. Let's see what type of retracement we get in here. Let's see if we could get a 50. Then I would get in.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I'm just like, I don't feel like gold is like 100% gonna buy. Like something tells me we're probably still gonna be selling. I mean, of course I could be wrong, and I'm not saying it's not gonna buy for like the rest of the day. I'm talking about like, for like the next month or something like that.
Mm. One thing that we got to be mindful of is when gold goes up above a 4-hour high and then it starts to sell off because that's when gold sells off the hardest when we go and sweep 4-hour highs. Like for example, um, right here, and they always leave behind a nice wick. Like the break and retest gonna give you a 24-hour swing to the downside. We saw it over here. So even if we do see huge bullish rallies sometimes, just remember, mark your last most recent 4-hour highs because chances are they'll probably pull from there. So we know how gold tends to sell. The second option of how gold usually likes to sell is if, let's say, it's a new week, it's a Monday or a Tuesday in Asia or even New York, and you see it go above last week's highs and just don't even go anywhere above that, they just sweep and pull back in. So we got to be ready for those type of opportunities as well.
Yeah, I want to say that I want to be finished trading for the day and enjoy my full Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm even wondering what this week will really have for us because we only have news on Thursday.
Yeah, let's check Forex Factory real quick. Yeah. You got core PCE. Basically, this is the end of June. We're at the end of June. Monday the 29th, next Monday the 29th, and then June the 30th. But yeah, we don't have no significant huge news, but final GDP, of course, might bring in a little bit of movement. If we show like anything positive above what's anticipated, we might see like a strong US dollar and a bearish gold. Thursday the 25th. But again, nowadays it's really just pay attention to how structure is doing things once it gets above the 4 hour highs if we're looking for big sells, right? You can see it all over the charts. But for the main part with gold, what usually works best for intraday scalpers and intraday traders like us is once price comes to sweep or retest London lows, around whatever time it does give that, after 9:30 or after 10:30 a.m. whatever, then you catch that buy. Good trade. If you missed out on it, sometimes you just wait until like 11, just breaking retest so you can catch it, and then you catch what you need to catch and you're good. You know? So you got to stick to the pairs that we're most comfortable with. And, as far as US 30 or NAS, like if the market comes to retest uh pre-market lows, good trade, good buys to take. If price is buying and it can't even go above previous day highs, then you're dealing with a sell. Like Thursday, I saw that sell coming from a mile away. I saw that aggressive buy, and I'm like, you look left here. They just tapped Wednesday's highs, and then they started like reversing. If you if that caught you off guard, you just gotta wait on them breaking retest. By 11, you should have yourself a trade with just your stop loss above these highs. Okay, so just keep those things in mind. All right. Uh Isaiah, I know it's been a minute since you pulled up in our webinars, but yeah, we're expecting buys by the end of July, like strong buy swings, probably by the end of July. We've talked about this multiple times, which is why I need to make reels because these little itsy bits of information, people usually like remember them when they're just like quick 30-second, 1 minute reels. But you know, the way gold's been moving, you shouldn't expect like huge long-term month-to-month rallies of bullishness in the first couple of months of the year. Typically they give you like great trades that just go above 4 hour highs and then they sell again. You'll get April to give you a nice rally. but end of the month rallies that look like this will happen later into the year. You're talking about, beginning of August. Beginning of August, you get something sometimes in September, but sometimes September can be like a retracement month. But then you got end of October is another one. Yeah, for months, if you look into position traded gold, you're gonna have to wait until like end of October, around mid-October, like play that. So yeah, we learned the hard way, but we got information that we could capitalize on for the rest of our trading careers. Okay. That's it for me, guys. That retracement is exactly what we're looking for. I think Asia will look the best once price pulls back in here. And then we could even wait for London just to get in, or if you get in by 12 a.m. or so, just gotta make sure you put the stop loss below this low and go from there. All right. Okay.
All right, bro. Thanks. Have a good night.
For sure. Yeah, you tired.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. I've been up since early doing stuff for the family. I'm tired.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all for coming on, guys. It's always, I don't take it for granted. Chris, what is
All
this?
right, nice. Thanks, buddy.
You too, man. What is this link you
Good
just
night,
sent?
y'all.
You gotta be a special kind of trader to trade gold. Yeah. Gold gave me my first 1K day. I'll forever trade gold. First 6 figures also came from gold in US 30 positions. All right. Y'all have a good night. Talk soon.